Hello classmates and Professor Teehankee. We are Group 3 and we will be presenting the case of Google and its strategy in 2013. Our group members include Tiffany Ching, Amy Doria, David Lai, and Kenneth Santos.
In year 1996, Larry Page and Sergey Brin collaborate on Backlog, an unconventional internet searching engine which rated websites for relevancy by examining the number of backlinks pointing to the website. They eventually renamed Backlog to Google. In year 1998, Google Incorporated was established. In year 1999, the company began selling advertisements associated with search keywords. In year 2000, Google provided several enhancements to the website's searching technology. In year 2004, Google registered its initial public offering. Its shares appreciated by 18% in the first day of trading. Background products: Gmail, Google Drive, Google+, Google Chrome, Google AdSense, Android, a Linux-based operating system, Google TV, a smart TV platform that integrates Android and Google Chrome. Hardware products: smartphones, Nexus, laptops, Chromebooks, search appliances, Google search applications, and wearable computers, Google Glass. Google Fiber, a broadband internet network infrastructures using fiber optic communications providing internet and cable. Background: the case. Most of acquisition and R&D activities of Google were directed at increasing its dominance in internet advertising. Google also aimed to becoming the #1 search engine around the world. Google's strategical priority in the year 2013 focused on expanding its share of the mobile searching and smartphone platforms, pushing forward its plan to become the dominant provider of the cloud computing solutions, expanding its broadband television service, increasing search advertising revenues from markets outside the United States, and extending its migration into hardware design, production, and marketing. Statement of the problems. How can Google dominate the global market in the internet advertising?
For the objectives, this paper aims, first, to identify the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats of Google through the use of SWOT analysis. Second, to thoroughly assess Google's internal and external environments. Third, to provide strategies for competing in international markets. Fourth, to recommend to Google the optimal course of action and a strategic plan to dominate the global market in internet advertising. For the areas of consideration, this paper shall be from the point of view of Sundar Pichai, Google Inc.'s Chief Executive Officer. Google's mission statement is to provide access to the world's information in one click, while Google's mission statement is to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. For the strengths, Google is today's leading search engine and is the developer of Android OS, one of the most sought after Operating systems for the smartphones. Google is a global brand, engaging into different industries in different countries all over the world. Its advanced business model is dynamic, which allows Google to penetrate different markets in different industries, resulting to revenue of more than 43.6 billion in 2012. In 2013, Google has 67% market share in internet searches and 97% share in searches for mobile devices. Google's campaign to acquire different businesses despite them coming from different industries has contributed to its objective of strengthening and increasing its dominance in the online advertising market. Google has always been a very innovative company. Its cloud services provides applications such as online office softwares, navigation systems, social media, publications, and other services that can be used and accessed online. For the weaknesses, Google lacks experience in hardware design and manufacturing. Hence, it relies heavily on contractors to perform these functions instead. Additionally, Google's greatest strength is also its biggest weakness. Its business model heavily relies on advertising. Data show that more than 85% of its revenues are from ads alone. This means Google is vulnerable to fluctuations in demand for advertising. Another weakness is its lack of capability with next-generation devices, particularly mobile and tablet computers. Furthermore, many of its products and services are not profitable. Lastly, Google also has a high turnover rate among its top executives and regular employees, making its turnover rate the fourth highest turnover rate in any major United States company. This fact would possibly result to lost talents or high cost of training. For the opportunities, Google may look into the existence of emerging markets such as Russia, China, and especially the developing countries. This will provide opportunity for Google to increase its market shares. Notably, more than 50% of the company's 2012 revenue and traffic were generated from outside the United States. Moreover, accessibility of internet through smartphones increased the channel in which Google can advertise. More than 103 million Americans and about 2 billion mobile phone users worldwide access the internet from smartphones. In 2012, more than 6.8 billion worldwide and 234 million Americans ages 13 and older own and use smartphones. Google is now diversifying into non-ad revenues. For example, it pioneered the Android operating system, tapping into a new industry and is directly competing with Apple's iOS. More importantly, cloud computing remains a key opportunity for Google. Google is already experienced in providing storage and cloud solutions. Thus, it can move into the enterprise market such as cloud computing paradigms. For the threats, censorships enforced by governments can restrict Google's operations. When Google entered the Chinese market, it was forced to comply with requirements by the Chinese government to censor search results that were critical to the government. However, in 2010, it began redirecting users of its censored Google.cn site in China to its uncensored Hong Kong search site google.com.hk. This resulted to the disagreement with the Chinese government. In June 2010, Google agreed to stop the automatic redirection to google.com.hk. Instead, google.cn users are presented with the google.com.hk link. Moreover, Google also experienced strong local competition. For example, in China, Google competed against Baidu, a local search provider. In 2013, 65% of internet searches in China were performed by Baidu, while Google held a share of only 3%. On top of that, international competition is fierce as well. Facebook and Twitter's increasing features available to its users seriously threatens Google's dominance in the Another consideration is that the market growth for smartphones in most developed countries had considerably slowed down. The maturing of the smartphone market in developed countries had already given rise to increased price competition in the United States in 2013. Lastly, the emergence of mobile computing threatens to pass Google by as newer companies seize the opportunity to ramp up their mobile computing presence. For our pestle analysis, this section shall analyze Google's external environment, specifically by enumerating the political, economical, sociocultural, technological, environmental, and legal and regulatory factors that would affect Google and consequently would shape its management's business decisions and strategies. For the political factors, security policies remain a corporate weakness for Google, as Google has access to plenty of private information more than anyone else in the world. According to a Forbes report, Google's growth is at risk from a growing backlash from foreign governments for its sovereign intrusions. Its involvement in collecting and handling private information of the citizens of these different countries threaten the perceived and actual sovereignties of these countries. For the economic conditions, increase in customer disposable income leads to more discretionary spending on gadgets and other products that operates Google's software and programs. Expanding scope of e-commerce leads to more reliance on internet platforms and a boost in online advertising. Next are the factors that affect sociocultural forces. First, modern society's need for readily available and easily accessible information. Next is rise in social networking and desire to always stay connected. Next is fast-paced lifestyle with a heightened need for convenience and timeliness. Lastly is preference in doing day-to-day activities online. Example, banking, transactions, sales and purchases of goods, etc. Next are the technological factors. First, there is an incredible rapid pace of technological development. Next is the expanding need for advanced technologies in various industries. Lastly, there is an increasing reliance on cloud computing. For the environmental forces, there is an increasing demand for renewable and energy sources, and there is an indirect impact of climate change on the information technology industry. Lastly, for the legal and regulatory factors. First, there is an unresolved issue with the Internal Revenue System's taxing policy, specifically concerning the avoidance of federal income taxes by shifting profits into offshore subsidies. Next, because Google controls one-third of the global digital ads market and more than 40% of the US market, Google has had issues with the United States antitrust policy. Lastly, Google perceives anti-piracy legislation as a threat to promotion of free and easy access to information. Google has had copyright issues because of its alleged copies of 15 million books without the permission or rights over the said books.
We use Amitech's corporate growth plan as our theoretical framework. It is founded on four key strategies, namely operational excellence, strategic acquisitions, global and market expansions, and new products. The objective of this growth plan is to achieve double-digit annual percentage growth in earnings per share and a superior return on total capital. These four strategies have provided the framework for achieving that objective. Operational excellence strategy emphasizes on operating efficiency, asset management, and customer satisfaction. It is essential to cost-driven businesses because it adds significant value to its differentiated business and is instrumental in improving the performance of recently acquired businesses. Strategic acquisition strategy focus acquisition on a thorough due diligence process and a proven ability to quickly integrate newly acquired businesses. Its goal is to achieve critical mass and competitive advantage and to gain entry into new and emerging markets and technologies. Global and market expansion strategy allows further expansion of low-cost activities in key areas of the world, to use acquisitions and new products to pursue growth opportunity, particularly outside the US. New product strategy means consistently increasing its investment in new product development with the aim of bringing more products to market faster and with greater success. We have four alternative strategies which Google can implement in order to dominate the global market in internet advertising. The first is status quo. Google's business operation should retain status quo because it has been doing well until today. It is currently the leading technology company and is expected to remain the top company in the industry in the foreseeable future. No other company is a threat to the business of Google. It remains a household name when it comes to search engine technology, software, and especially in internet advertising. An example of its advertising segment are AdSense and AdWords, which remains to be the main revenue stream in services. The advantages are Google's current strategy is working. It provides great experience in the industry. Google is the leading software company, and there's plenty of growth possible. The disadvantages are growth is stunted in terms of expansion to other business. Technology might evolve into something that would possibly phase out Google's current business and strategies, and Google might miss out on a lot of opportunities. The second strategy is to focus on industries not yet penetrated by other competitors. This is an offensive strategy. So by being the technological pioneers in industries relatively untouched by its competitors, Google can pave the breakthrough and obtain major market share of these technologically advanced products in various industries. Examples are Google Car and Google Glass. Instead of focusing on industries wherein Google has competitively strong rivals, it can gain competitive advantage by entering industries where its products are the only option. A drawback is that it entailed a lot of expenses which Google might not want to consider, and substantial effort needs to be exerted for research and development activities. The third strategy is to adopt and improve good ideas of other companies. Google can profit from other companies by understanding theirs, including its competitors' capabilities, and learn from their mistakes, success, and other experience. This will maximize its strengths and minimize its weakness. The advantages are it allows entries to new industries and more advertising opportunities. However, by entering into new industry, it may have little or no knowledge of its operations, and it can also impact its existing costing strategies. The fourth and last strategy is to change local market to better match the way Google does business elsewhere. This is a global strategy, meaning think global and act global approach is used here. Managers integrate and coordinate Google's strategic moves worldwide and to expand into most, if not all, nations. The emphasis is on building a global brand name and aggressively pursue opportunities to transfer ideas, new products, and capabilities from one country to another. It also increases the popularity of internet ads as opposed to traditional advertising and allows Google to standardize its operations across the world. However, some foreign markets may not be tech-savvy or would even be resistant to change.
To come up with a recommendation, the group used this matrix containing the criteria for strategy decision making. The following criteria are increase in profit, increased competitive advantage, cost savings, ease of implementation, and feasibility of idea. Again, we weighted each ACA accordingly. For the first ACA, it's status quo. Next is focus on industries not yet penetrated by other competitors. Third is adopting and improving good ideas of other companies. And the last ACA is to change local market to better match the way Google does business elsewhere. And as you can see, for the first criteria, which is to increase profit, we gave it a weight of 30%, and we weighted ACA 110, ACA 230, ACA 320, and ACA 425. For the next criterion, we have increased competitive advantage, which we gave a weight of 30. And again, we gave ACA 110, ACA 230, ACA 320, and ACA 425. For cost savings, which had a weight of 20%, we gave ACA 115, ACA 210, ACA 310, and ACA 48. For ease of implementation, we have 10%. ACA 1 garnered 10, ACA 26, ACA 38, and ACA 45. For the final criterion, which is feasibility of idea, we have weighted at 10%. We have ACA 1 10, ACA 2 8, ACA 3 8, ACA 4 also 8. So in total, the highest ACA which would lead to a recommendation is ACA 2, which garnered 84% of the total 100. So again, ACA 2 is for Google to focus on industries not yet penetrated by other companies or other competitors. In accordance with the matrix we previously discussed, the group recommends ACA 2, which is to focus on industries not yet penetrated by other competitors. It is through this ACA that the group believes that Google will be able to dominate the global market in internet advertising. So by tapping new industries, it would give Google an opportunity to explore and later provide new medium for its advertisements. Through this offensive strategy, Google can pave the way to new advancements in online ads, therefore gaining competitive advantage and consequently increase its market share. Through this, Google can gain and maintain competitive advantage by entering industries where its products are the only option.